Hi everybody, Paul Rose here, and welcome to this, which is my second video for Acustica Audio, where we're having listened to these plugins and seeing how I use them. And on my previous video I was mixing a song. On this we've got a drum kit. We're mixing a full drum kit, a live kit. And we have my friend Jim Drummond playing drums on this. This is Jim, and we recorded the kit in a guest house near Glasgow, Scotland, in the dining room. And I recorded these drums for precisely this kind of thing, actually, just, it was a line check thing, a level check, just to make sure that everything was working properly. We recorded it just to listen, and so now it's got its uses today for this Acustica Audio thing. So starting with I guess first thing we should do is just basically listen to the kit as it sounds. This is the mixed kit in its entirety. Okay, so let's go through it piece by piece. As per you would have seen on my previous video, where I was mixing a song of my brother's, The Black Guru, which is like helping you with your gain staging to make sure that your track, if it's been over recorded or under recorded, you can make sure that it's around -18 to -12, so that when it leaves the Black Guru, it goes into the next step optimized, so that the plugins can receive the best possible signal to work with. After this, I have the sand compressor. Listen without that. And then sand EQ. So let me be clear about this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a schooled or trained engineer, sound designer. What I do is a result of decades of pressing buttons and twisting knobs till I find something that sounds good to me. And so I've been doing it a long time, so I've learned a few things. I think I can make things sound okay. So basically what I do is I open up the preset of any specific instrument, whether it be a kick drum, a snare drum, bass guitar, or a vocal, and then I kind of tweak it to suit. And so this is what I've done, and I think you can be pretty sure. You can generalize with presets, of course. I know that. I understand that there's a generic thing which may not suit everything, but I think the rule of thumb would be that the technicians at Acustica Audio are so good that the presets would be pretty damn close to what you're looking for, with the tweaks to suit your own thing, So basically I've opened up the kick preset and I've just kind of tweaked it a little bit here and there, Same with the snare drum. Exactly the same chain with the snare drum. I've got the sand bus comp, and I've got the sand EQ, and same process, same procedure to open up the preset and then tweak it a little bit here and there to make it closer to what you want, Lovely kind of open ringing snare drum, and we'll get into the ambience a little bit later on because I'm using the silver plugin for the ambience. We'll talk about that a little while. But the absolute height of decadence, ladies and gentlemen, we've even got sand on the hi-hat. And why not? Indeed, why not? Tiny bit of compression on the hi-hat. It's Jim, great. Yeah, so basically when we were recording some YouTube videos up in Glasgow, near Glasgow, I said to Jim, "Hey Jim, just play a bit," and we recorded something. And sometimes they actually turn into tracks. Nothing happening on the ride cymbal. Just pulled a bit of low end out, take some of the mud out. I should probably boost the top a little bit. Go on, take a risk. Toms, again, massively decadent indulgence in the toms. Black Guru, get the levels right. Sand. Now, this is something that I think is important to point out at this moment in time, is that when you're mixing a track and you're using a plugin that's based on a piece of hardware. So let's say it's based on an SSL, or let's say it's based on a Neve, or it's based on whatever. Then I think, for my ears anyway, or my mind, is that you want to kind of use the flavor of that hardware on everything. Because if you think about it, what you would be doing, technically speaking, let's say you've got a Neve mixing desk and an SSL mixing desk right next to each other, and you're putting the kick drum through the SSL, and you're putting the snare drum through the Neve, and you're putting the hi-hat through the SSL, and you're putting the tom-toms through the Neve. That may well have happened. It's a crazy world where anything's possible. That may well have happened, but I don't think very many recording sessions have done that, where you're putting a kick drum through a Neve mixer and a snare drum through an SSL mixer. And so if you're opening all of these different plugins with all of these different manufacturers, design, modeling, however you want to call it, then I think, for me, it's kind of missing the point. You want your drums to go through an SSL desk or a Neve desk or whatever, and so you have an accumulative effect. Of course, we use other plugins for other jobs. Of course, I understand that, but I think it's an accumulative effect. So you could stick a sand plugin on a vocal and it would sound great, but it would sound even better if you put a sand plugin on the backing vocals as well, and on the bass guitar, and on the drums, and on the piano. So you get the flavour of that piece of hardware, that one piece of hardware. Would you say Steely Dan or Frank Zappa with two mixing desks side by side? Or would everything go through one mixing desk? Okay, I hope that's understandable. Do what you like. If you win the lottery, you could buy one of each and do whatever you like. Okay. Okay, so anyway, back to business, back to talking about stuff. Sand overheads. So once again, preset, Acustica Audio's preset will, so you go here and then there's your overheads, you'd select that, and then you kind of tweak it to suit. And that's what I've done here. So the low end's rolled out, high end's boosted a bit. Okay, so that's basically how I've mixed this particular kit. What have we got here? We've got ultramarine on the output. Yes, we do. Glorious, glorious bus. The glorious bus compressor. And so, you know, that's more or less how I've mixed those drums using Acustica audios. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just be a little bit. This is a room correction software here, the Arc. We don't need to pay attention to that for this purpose because we're using headphones. Let's go into the plugins and let's pull up the purple. Oh yes, let's have a look at this. And this is a beautiful kind of just a kind of a sweetener for the end, you know. So let's put that at like 60. Now there's this thing that works with these. It's this thing that works with these plugins, which is very, very, very similar to the hardware, where if you boost and attenuate at the same time in equal measure, there's a beautiful kind of cancelling out of the low mids, and it's an industry trick that I picked up by listening to other people, and again, minimal. So let's have a listen with that. Oof, lovely. Let's put it back in. 1, 2, back in. It opens it up beautifully, doesn't it? And finally, I'm using the silver reverb plugin. Absolutely glorious. Absolutely glorious. This plugin on its own deserves a dedicated video. And I'm using the Club Cave Large Near. Okay. And sparingly. So I'll tell you what we can do. We can mute this. We can listen to the drums and mute this so you can hear. That's it out. In and so it's really just a little bit of ambience, you know. So there you go. That's how I've mixed those drums from a sound check, basically. Drums from a sound check in Glasgow with Jim Drummond. I hope that's been interesting. I hope it's been enjoyable. And like I say, I'll be doing more in the not too distant future, featuring acoustic guitars, piano, and electric guitars. And so we'll see you for that in the very near future. Thanks very much, everybody, and all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.